So this is going to be the full tutorial on how to make the Python program that plays Roblox spelling bee for you. If you haven't watched the full video of me demonstrating this program, please do so before watching this. I'll put the video on the top right corner of the screen and also in the description and pinned comment. So yeah, let's get right into it. Before we start, make sure you do have Python installed on your computer because obviously you need that. And unfortunately, this tutorial is only going to be for Windows computers, so if you're on a Mac, I cannot guarantee that this is going to work for you. Also, for this tutorial, I'm going to be using VS Code, so it's probably going to be easiest for you if you also use the same, but you can also just use idle or any other IDEs of your choice. If you watched my last video, you probably already know that our approach to making this is to first record Roblox's output audio, transcribe it into text, then type it out. So the first thing that we need to do is make the program to record our desktop audio for a few seconds. So to do that, we're going to be using the PyAudio module in Python. So just go to Google and search up PyAudio GitHub. And then click this and go to the README place. And you probably don't already have it, so just take this and put it in your terminal over here. So view terminal, and then paste it there. So once we've installed PyAudio, we can go ahead and import it. So import PyAudio and also import wave, and yeah, I think these are just things that we will be needing to make our program. And there are also a few prerequisites that we need. I'm actually going to get them from the website itself. So once you're over here, here's where you get the command for installing, and then you can go down here to the home page and go down here to the record section. And we're not going to be using exactly this, but we can get a few of these prerequisites over here. So I'm just going to copy and paste this into VS Code, and I'll explain a bit more on what these mean. And for now, record seconds is how long we're going to be recording for, and although we don't need 5, I'm going to keep it at 5 for now. And yeah, all of these are should probably just be kept the way they are. And also we're going to create another variable called output file name, which I'm going to be naming desktop, maybe desktop audio. And yeah, there we go. And now we can create an instance for PyAudio. So p equals PyAudio dot PyAudio. This allows us to record our desktop audio stream. And also we're going to be using stereo mix, which is kind of like a input device of our computer that allows us to use our input device as the desktop output audio. So to enable it, all you need to do is go here and then type in input devices, and this should come up. I know it's in Japanese, but for you it should be something like input devices. And here you're going to see stereo mixer, and you can enable it here. So yeah, now we can set a device index. And although you could add code to find the stereo mixer automatically through a loop, I found that it always didn't work, so I just found it useful to just have it hard coded. So I think it's like I don't know, it could be anywhere between like 1 and 4 depending on how many input devices you have enabled, but I'll just set it at 4 for now. And I'll print let's use an F string here, recording from, and then we want to show where we're recording from so that we can find where the stereo mixer is. So p dot get default info by index, yeah, there. And then here we're gonna have device index here. Yep, there we go. And we also want to get its name, so I'm just gonna do name here. So we're trying to figure out which one has stereo mixer. So let's first, let me try changing this to this kind of quotation mark. Oh yeah, so it says Microsoft. Yeah, that's definitely not stereo mixer. So I'm gonna change this to 1 and see what that gives. Okay, that is my microphone, I think. So let's change it to 2. Yeah, that's stereo mixer. So for me, stereo mixer is number 2, but it can be something else for you. I know it's in Japanese here as well, but then it should stay stereo mixer for you over here where it says this Japanese stuff. So next we can start by, well, we need to record. I think we can use some of these things as well. So let's get this streamline thing. Oops. Yeah, there we go. And the format's fine, the channel's fine. And this basically just sets all these prerequisites to our recording. So like we're opening an input stream here with the format and settings that we set above, and yeah, we're basically setting them in the stream that we open here. And we do want to add a few things such as frames per buffer. We want to set that to chunk, and also we want to give it our input device. So that's gonna be input device index. Yeah, there we go. And that's gonna be device index for us, which is our variable. And yeah, that's it. So let's go to the next line, and now we can start recording. So just to inform the user of what's going on, I'm gonna print recording. Oops, recording. And we're going to have a empty list to collect the chunks of raw audio from our computer. And then we're going to collect these chunks in a loop. So for example, I think there is a loop here as well. So yeah, let's just make use of this loop, although we will be changing a few things. So yeah, 0, and then I'm just gonna, yeah, I think that's good. Divide, and then here, since this doesn't use the list, I'm gonna make it so that it does. So let's do data equals stream, which is what we opened before, dot read chunk, and then frames dot append, so it adds stuff to the list data, and then that occurs again and again for the number of seconds. So rate divided by chunk is basically how many chunks happen per second, and then multiplying that gives us the total number of times it's gonna happen. And in each pass, I call the stream.read to grab the next audio block and append it to the empty list. So yeah, I think I put frame. Yeah, frames would make more sense because there's more than one frame in the, it's a list, more than one item. And then we can print done. Yep. And then we can close the stream. It's, again, just some prerequisites that we need. Stop stream. and we can close it. Yep, there we go. Now we want to save this as a .wav file, so let's do wf equals wave.open and use our file name here, wb, and we need to tell the WAV header how many channels the audio has. So here it's 2 because it's stereo. So yeah, let's do wf dot. Actually, if this already has those, we could just get them. Yeah, we can just use some of these. Yep. So again, there's prerequisites, so you don't need to type them all in yourself. Let me just do that. Yep. Now we need to join all the captured chunks together and write how many, and write like the raw bytes into the WAV file. So wf.write frames, and then .join, and then the frames from the list we had earlier. So it writes all the chunks to the WAV file, and then we can close it, and then we can print saved to, and then over here we can put output file name. So it's gonna be like save to desktop audio, because that's the output file name. So let's try running our program. So yeah, 5 seconds, and it says save to desktop audio.wav, and since there's nothing playing on my computer, it's going to be silent. So yeah, let's try playing something now. And also, I'm not sure why it says Pi audio cannot be recognized, even though it does clearly work. So yeah, let's see if that brings up any issues in the future. But let's try playing something on our computer. I'm just gonna play my own video. Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm gonna be showing you how to make a plane game where when you hover over land, you cast a shadow, and when you hover over water. So yeah, let's see if that worked. Where when you hover over land, yep, that worked. You cast a shadow, and you. So now we basically have the code to record a small part of our desktop audio, which basically we're going to be doing in Roblox, because it just records the whole computer's output audio, and well, Roblox is going to be one of them. So just make sure you don't have anything else playing on your computer while using this program, and it should work well. And I think this isn't causing any problems, although it says it doesn't recognize it, which is strange. But yeah, there we go. Now we just need to transcribe this audio that we have here, and we need to make it so that it automatically types it out. So our next step is going to be making the code to transcribe this audio file. So let's do that in a new file. So I'm gonna make a file called transcriber, and probably should have made that a py file. So transcriber.py, and now we're going to be using the speech recognition module. So let's do import speech recognition, and I don't want to type that. I mean, that's pretty long to type in our code, so let's just do as sr, so we can refer to it as sr. And you actually probably do need to do pip. Oops, not sure what happened there. You do need to type pip install speech recognition, and press enter. For me, it's already installed, but for you, it's probably gonna take a few seconds to install. So next we can get the audio file. So we store the file name as desktop audio because that's what we have recorded. And we also want to make a recognizer object. So this is going to be the main interface that the speech recognition module uses to transcribe the audio. And then we're going to open the WAV file as an audio file object so that the recognizer can read it. So with sr.audio file and then audio file. We need to do that. So basically we're calling r.record source to grab all of the audio into a single audio object. So like we're just loading it all at once so that it can be transcribed. And then next, for the actual transcription, there are cases where it fails to transcribe the audio. So that's why we're going to be using try and accept, so that if there's an error, it just informs us of it instead of just, stopping the program, which doesn't allow us to. That's going to force us to come back and rerun the program, which you probably don't want while playing Roblox Spelling Bee. So let's do try, and then we're going to return r.recognize Google audio. Should probably put this in the bracket as well. Oh yeah, I forgot that this should be in the function because we're not going to be running this. We're going to be using this within the recorder, which we're going to be using as our main file, kind of. So, and then yeah, define transcribe. Yep, there we go. And see what the problem is. Okay, yeah, we need accept. And here we're going to add, we just need to inform that transcription failed. Transcription failed. So in that case, you're gonna have to spell the word yourself because, well, the program failed to, transcribe the audio. And let's see what the problem here is. Expected indent. Oh yeah. Yep, there we go. So yeah, this uses Google's speech recognition to, well, write down the word from this audio file that we have, desktop audio.wav, and we probably do want to integrate it into the main thing, which we're gonna have as a recorder. So we want to import transcriber here. So yeah, let's see if our transcriber works now. So all we need to do is just do transcript equals transcriber, which we just imported, dot transcribe, which is the name of our function in the transcriber file that we just made, and then we can print transcript. So let's go back to my YouTube video and let's just play it.
If it wasn't, but you can make it become more difficult slower if you want to, and also you can add upgrades so that the plane can shoot more bullets after some time, after a certain score. Or
as you can see, it says, well, yeah, it says what I said in the video. So yeah, although this does work, you might notice that it says the whole sentence. And even in Roblox Spelling Bee, it says something like, please spell, and then the word. So we do need to make it so that it only types out the word and not the whole sentence, please spell the word. So to do that, there's an easy fix. All you need to do is just print out the last word of the sentence, and yeah, that should be it. But before we do that, let's make the program type out the word that we transcribed. So let's make a file called typeout. And here we're going to be using the keyboard module, which basically allows the program to type stuff for us. So let's import keyboard. And also, okay, that's, might have to pip install that one as well. Let's try running the program now. Yep, there's no errors, so it should be fine. And now we also need to import random and import time. Oops, import time. And the reason for this is because we're using some sort of random way to decide how long to spend between keystrokes, so that the typing looks a bit more human and doesn't look like, you know, a robot's doing it when it actually is a robot. So yeah, that probably saves you from getting banned or looking suspicious. So yeah, let's make another function. I'm gonna name this def. Let's do def type, and then we do want to parameter this time because we want to know what to type. Let's do text that we're gonna pass on later, and we're going to have an empty list called characters, and for a character in text, we're going to add the character to our characters list. So characters.append the character. So each item in the list is going to be a character from the sentence. And it shouldn't be a sentence because we're just entering word. So it's going to be each letter from the word. And then we can have a loop for I in range, and then we want this loop to go for the length of the characters, because that's how long the characters list, because that's how long the word is. And then here we're going to type out each individual letter. It's keyboard dot press and release characters I. So it does that for each and every character by iterating through it in a for loop. And we don't want this to happen way too fast, so we want to wait for a random amount of time between each key press. So we can use time.sleep random.uniform, which allows you to do a random number between two decimal numbers. The one that I used was 0.065, between 0.065 and 0.0290 seconds, but you can change this if you want. I made it so that after it's done typing the word, it presses enter for you, but then if you want to review the word before it presses enter for you, you don't need this part. But yeah, keyboard drop, press and release, press and release, enter. Yep. So that is it for our typing out. Now we can go back to our recorder and integrate it here. Let's make it so that we import it first. So import type out. Well, right now the transcript is just one big sentence. So to get the last word, all we need to do is do transcript dot split. I'm still gonna keep this print statement just so that if anything goes wrong, we can see why that happened. Maybe there's a error in the transcription. So yeah, transcript dot split, and then we're gonna type out, and then types the name of our function. The last item of this transcript dot split list that it makes, I should probably just put that at transcript, and then now transcript is going to be a list instead of the sentence. So it's going to be a list with the first item become, the second item more, the third item difficult, and so on. And it's going to type the last item of this. So transcript -1. That's how you get the last item. And before we run our program, this is just going to happen in an instant. It's going to start recording right away. So what I did for my program is I made it so that when I press control, the recording starts, and when I press escape, basically the program stops running, just so that I can stop it in the middle without like coming here to stop it. So to do that, before all this, I'm gonna do def show key. If key is control, then we're gonna do all this. So I'm just gonna put this inside. I'm gonna indent this so that's inside the if statement. Yep, there we go. I pressed tab there, by the way, and then we do if, we press escape, then return false, which basically stops the program. And to put that together, let's do with listener. And what this does is it's basically listening to keystrokes all the time from your keyboard, and when it is escape or control, when it's escape, this thing stops and the whole program stops, and when it's control, it starts recording, and then it types out the thing. So every time it's your turn to type out the word in Roblox Spelling Bee, you just press control and then it listens to it. I should probably change this to 2 seconds. I'm gonna just run my program. Oops, the listener is not defined. Okay, that's because we need another module called input, which allows us to do this. So we probably need to pip install that as well. Pip install oh yeah, this should be from. Now nothing happens because we haven't pressed control. Let's just try if escape works. So yeah, when pressing escape, yep, stops the program. Let's run it again. And now let's just press control, and then
You can add a money system or make the.
and I'm gonna go here and wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, so transcription failed, and that's why we actually need another try over here. So let's just add that real quick. So try all this, but then if the transcript is empty, it's gonna give an error because it can't split the transcript if it's empty. So except we just print transcription failed. And I also optionally did add a sound effect if, well, transcription fails. If you watch the video, you'd know that. But yeah, for this one, I'm probably not gonna add that because I don't think I have any sound effects ready in my computer. But yeah, you can add that optionally if you want to. Okay, I think the issue was that I changed it to 2 seconds, but then I'm playing it after a pretty long time. So I'm just gonna do a random word, which is, I guess, somewhat hard. Let me press control, then
enigmatic,
Go here. Okay, that did not work. Transcription failed. Let's look at what desktop audio sounds like.
Enigmatic.
Oh yeah, it cut off. We should probably make it a bit longer. 2 seconds might be a bit too less. Let me just stop that, run it. Press Control
Enigmatic.
and go here. Yep, it types it instantly. So yeah, that should work for you. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you'd like more of these, because this isn't the usual type of videos I make. So yeah, I'll see you the next time.